In the age of the sleek flat screen, you may have wondered why some bother with those old tube TVs that are likely still in your attic. However, many retro gamers such as myself want to prove why these televisions are worth breaking your back over for the sake of preservation.
We're gonna put the screen in first.
Not only for art, but also the environment.
Big stuff.
You okay?
Yeah. I'm just like, it's just my grip.
We're almost there.
Oh, you're good?
I think that was a cord.
Yeah.
She's home. At last. Are you aware of the resurgence of CRTs or tube TVs for proper retro gaming?
I love the word proper there. Yes, it's been a bit of a slow burn, but suddenly recently I've heard a lot about it.
I hear more and more people talk about tube TVs and wanting to get tube TVs.
I had someone contact me on LinkedIn because I guess they saw that I was a television engineer, asked me if I had any old CRTs laying around.
In fact, there's one at work that's sitting on a table that's not plugged in that I questioned about the other day. See if would you like me to get rid of that for you?
I think the main appeal is a nostalgia bomb. People want to have an experience that feels authentic to what they remember, but a lot of the people who are into this don't remember, so it's like a passed down nostalgia.
So then I started talking to some students here at the university, and they said a lot of people really want an old CRT television to do gaming on.
It's either a weird or exciting combination of nostalgia and authenticity. Some people are really looking for something really authentic. Some people legitimately just think it looks better.
The very first televisions that I ever saw when I was younger were CRT TVs. The first video game that I ever played, Namco Museum Volume 1, that was also played on a CRT TV. I thought that that was the best that a video game could even look.
Story with my original CRT TVs growing up, I had a Sega Genesis and playing Sonic 2, Sonic 1, Sonic 3, Sonic and Knuckles. That Sega on that CRT brings back a lot of good memories.
The gaming stuff, you know, I came up through all from Pong to the 2600 Atari.
You're watching the most exciting game you will ever see on your TV set. Telstar by Coleco.
We had the 8-bit Sega Master System, which is a little bit more of a rare bird, because I loved the game Double Dragon.
My dad, who was a broadcast engineer, had this massive CRT display. I remember my dad talking about how awesome the blacks were and like how deep the darks were and how much better it was than a flat screen TV.
The scan lines, they just coalesce into something that looks really good when you combine that with the pixels of like an older game.
The blending of colors, Sonic 2 is a good example. The colors blend beautifully compared to on a HD TV where it's a lot blockier. Now it's clear and clean, but it's not smudged like a CRT can kind of help blend all the colors together.
Are you talking about like the waterfalls?
Exactly. Now with retro art, you can go through and add filters, different shaders to kind of get those effects. But
can you emulate it? Sort of. Whole genres of games, especially in Nintendo, are unplayable without a CRT. Any of the Zapper and to a lesser extent the Super Scope, you couldn't play because they rely on line counting to work. So if you're studying a game, let's say you're studying Donkey Kong, you need to be studying it on the original hardware to understand how it worked and to understand any of the conflicts around, say, that game. At the moment, you need to understand how it was coded and how they were playing it on a CRT.
There would be no experience without the media itself, but I think the hardware is a big part of it that is overlooked.
That being said, if you saw a tube TV on the side of the road, perfectly good condition, would you save it?
How dare you ask me that question? No.
I honestly don't miss CRTs.
What do I not like about tube TVs? I've made a list.
I couldn't tell you how awesome it was to look at. I can remember my back hurting.
They're too big, heavy, and awkward to move anywhere, especially if you have to move them up or downstairs.
Me and my sibling having to carry it around the house, and it must have weighed like hundreds of pounds.
To get anything bigger than a 32-inch TV would weigh about 1,000 pounds.
There was like a double whammy that was just gonna make it really, really hard. They were just gonna get heavier and heavier. A quality gap was always gonna get smaller.
They're absolutely dangerous and hard to repair.
I worked, with my face a couple of feet away, and probably why my glasses are so thick.
And lastly, I would say they're just challenging to get rid of.
The stuff that was in the attic that was really dusty, and they're just not even trying to sell it. Maybe they're just like literally giving it away or even throwing it away.
The city of Pittsburgh would bring dumpsters around and people would take all their stuff. So that was like our playground. We would go into these dumpsters, find these old CRTs, and being an adolescent male in the 70s, we had slingshots that we would shoot them.
By probably being guilty of destroying a piece of hardware in that way, yeah, probably.
Really have great joy when there was still some charge left on them and they would poof and explode.
And I'm like, what did you do? Like, why did you do that? Like, I think that they're literally time capsules.
Being destructive to CRTs in the probably later 70s was probably like the most fun that I had with CRTs.
Nobody loves me anymore.
Very hard to get rid of a tube TV these days. The garbage man won't pick it up. You need to find a recycling center that's willing to take it, and a lot of times they're hard to find.
Much like all the plastic that's in the ocean, my guess is that there's a lot of TVs in landfills, people dumping them like on the side of the road and stuff.
I just recall like going on walks before and just seeing them basically destroyed like in a pile.
It was a cumbersome process. You can't just throw those in the dumpster. There were, hundreds of them, but me personally here, I probably had around 40 of them. Sadly, now they're probably broken down into their base elements and repurposed.
We're really, really bad about how we recycle modern technology just for the sake of like metals and materials that we only have a limited supply of.
As far as like the CRTs, we have been paying to get rid of them. Maybe that'll change now that there's a market for them.
So even at a local scale, I think there are people who you could find who could take your hardware and do something good with it. Maybe consider, do you want to keep it? Or is there someone who can make good use of it? Kids in schools, kids in universities, libraries, museums. If more people did that, then there would be more access to this kind of experiences with this sort of cool old tech.
Thanks to the resurgence in CRT usage in the retro gaming community, many televisions are finding happy homes in local schools, exhibits, or in the museums of gamers like myself. We know that sometimes these TVs are hard to love, but how much does it take to bring someone from the other side? I decided to sit down with my mother to let my biggest CRT take on the 4K flat screen with Mario Kart 64. So is there anything like right away that you can tell the difference between the flat screen and the...
Yeah, I would say it's a little blurry on my side.
So
unless my eyes are that bad.
You're saying that the flat screen looks a little blurry?
Yeah, unless my eyes are going bad. Now I am getting older, but yeah, it's quite a bit fuzzy. Yeah, I can kind of see the difference now playing one of the older games that I didn't notice before. So the side by side, you can really tell the difference.
Definitely not trying to distract you or anything.
Yeah, I think you are, because I can't watch the road and look at both screens. Certainly my picture's a little bit bigger. I gotta give credit to that because it's a bigger screen. I think I'm watching the wrong screen because it's really fuzzy. I think I should be watching that screen.
You should be watching the tube TV, yeah. One Grand Prix of the Mushroom Cup turned into hours of fun for us, But our last race really left the flat screen in the dust, at least in our opinion.
Here, I'll give you a little head start.
Oh, okay. You're giving me a little head start. I love it. Oh, okay. I guess you sold me.
It only took Rainbow Road.
It wasn't that bad of a purchase.
Love 'em or hate 'em, these tube TVs found a way to bring us all together.
Uh-oh. Can I catch up to him? Can I stop him? Can I stop him?
No!
Can I stop him? Oh, the change up!
Welcome to Mario Kart.